What's up gamers, Cryptico here, and welcome back to Lowering the Mark, a show where I analyze the current and former world records of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe time trial runs to see how these records get faster over time. We'll look at elements such as the loadout, racing lines, and mushroom usage to better understand what's bringing these times down. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to know when my videos go live. For today's episode, we're taking it back to the start of Season 3 and reviewing the slower version of this fan favorite, Music Park at 150cc. On Star Wars Day 2017, the world record for this run was set at 1 minute 54.825 seconds by the Japanese player Ren. Over 4 years later, on September 23, 2021, and the record was brought down to 1 minute 50.979 seconds by the Spanish player Alberto. That's a 3.8 second difference between records and a 3.3% faster time. Our former world record holder Ren has broken just over 100 world records across 5 unique runs and has spent just under 500 days holding at least one world record. Our current world record holder Alberto has now broken over 700 world records, the first player to do so, across 57 unique runs, and has spent over 1,350 days holding at least one of his 33 current world records. At pre-release, the world record was barely under 156, but it quickly got under 55 and 54 within a few days, mostly thanks to Ren. Nearly half a year after his 153.2, a few other players stepped in to challenge him, but it wouldn't faze him as he brought the record down further and became the first person to go 152. 220 days later, Ren's time at the top would come to an end as Kai headlined the next wave of improvement to this world record. After putting up just 5 consecutive times, he had established a reign of nearly 700 days as the world record holder. That came to an end when Marimo went slightly faster, but on that same day, Alberto began his run on the course. He would bring the time all the way down to 151 territory and continue improving his time even when Army stepped in to spoil the fun. It wouldn't matter much as Alberto got right back on it and grabbed one last second break to be under 151. In total, the record was broken 55 times by 11 different players. The loadout situation here is similar to one we've seen before. Ren goes with the combo of Morton driving the W25 with the rollers and the super glider. Alberto goes with that same loadout we saw in the last episode, consisting of Baby Daisy driving the Biddy Buggy with the rollers and the paper glider. If you paid attention, these performance stats are pretty darn close to what we saw in the last episode. Ren and Alberto each hold a respective advantage in top speed and handling, but the latter takes it a step further with max handling and mini turbo with a near max acceleration stat to complement it. If you remember from last episode, a max mini turbo usually means Alberto is about to go sicko mode with mini turbos on this course. This track is without a doubt one of the best designed courses in the game. It's the perfect blend of chaos and an actual racetrack. And as a time trial course, it's definitely a very challenging one to do at world record pace because of its complexity. Let's see how Alberto did it. Ren hits the rocket start out of the gate and heads for this first turn. He'll start this prolonged ultra mini turbo around the piano as he edge grinds a bit to stay on the tightest line possible. After that, he heads down this back straight and grabs a quick normal mini turbo before chaining that with another one he'll release in S2. Alberto also hits the rocket start out of the gate, but proceeds to chain 2 mini turbos together before the piano keys. He also edge grinds this long turn and grabs the ultra mini turbo. He'll chain that with another ultra mini turbo just before the piranha plants. Once he's through there, he'll grab another mini turbo and hop over the grass onto this ramp for the jump boost to close out the section. Right off the bat, we notice Alberto takes full advantage of those max mini turbos as they've allowed him to build up a pretty decent lead within the first 12 seconds of driving. He's ahead of Ren by nearly 0.2 of a second going into S2. Ren carries that drift around the first xylophone and grabs the super mini turbo and jump boost before chaining together another super mini turbo around the next turn. After hitting a jump boost on the tambourine, he goes tight around the next turn for the super mini turbo before taking off on the glider. Alberto also grabs the super mini turbo and jump boost, but on a tighter line as he makes his way around the next turn, grabbing another super mini turbo. 1 mini turbo and jump boost later, he's charging up another super mini turbo and even squeezes in another mini turbo just before the end of S2. Throughout that short span of time, Alberto displayed both better racing lines and exceptional timing with all these mini turbos. His lead now sits at over 0.3 of a second going into S3. After going off the glider, Ren flies in an unusual pattern before hitting the ground right as these notes stomp the course so he can get a jump boost over the grass to stay on the most direct line. he'll get one more jump boost at the end of it and drift off the course to grab this super mini turbo and jump boost off the tambourine. Once he lands, he'll chain another normal mini turbo before crossing the finish line. Alberto gets the mini turbo jump boost combo and quickly chains 2 more of those together before charging up the third one to be released with the next jump boost from that note stomp. Towards the end, he charges up another mini turbo and some way somehow hits another one of those combos right as he exits the back straight. He too will drift off the course and grab a jump boost before bouncing off the tambourine and using his first mushroom to cut through the grass and grab a super mini turbo before crossing the finish line. That was no doubt the craziest section so far, and it's because of all that craziness, plus 1 mushroom, that Alberto comes out ahead by a second after 1 lap. Ren starts off lap 2 the same way he did on lap 1, straight to the keys, a long edge grinding drift, and the ultra mini turbo. He doesn't go for the normal one down by the piranha plants though, he just rides on down and starts drifting into the next section. Alberto, on the other hand, doesn't make any changes. He grabs the first 2 normal mini turbos before grabbing 2 ultra mini turbos on and off the piano keys. Once he makes it to the plants, he'll grab another mini turbo and hop over the grass to hit that jump boost once again before starting S2. This time around, Alberto added a lot of time to his lead, probably thanks to him being so good at video games. Or all those max mini turbos. Could be both. He leads Ren by 1.6 seconds at the end of S1. Ren goes for the same super mini turbos around the xylos but doesn't get a jump boost on any of them. After that, he'll bounce off the tambourine for another jump boost before drifting up to the ramp to start S3. Let's take a closer look at this first turn for Alberto. He's already drifting and gets the super mini turbo before tricking off the overhanging part of these keys. This is the tightest line you could take because you're basically flying at that point, which makes it faster. He does the same thing again around the next turn before grabbing another mini turbo and bouncing off the tambourine again. He follows that up with a super, then normal mini turbo before the ramp into S3. Hopefully now you can see why Alberto's record isn't totally reliant on those max mini turbos. He does do some amazing driving as well, and all of it contributes to his lead, which now sits at over 2 seconds at the end of S2. Ren goes for the jump boost off the ramp and just stays straight up until the next note stomp. At that point, he'll get a jump boost and use his mushroom to cut through this grass. Near the end of this path, he'll sneak in another jump boost before drifting on the tambourine again and bouncing on up to the last turn where he'll use another mushroom to cut through the grass as he comes across the finish line. After hitting the jump boost, Alberto gets into a quick drift where he'll get the mini turbo jump boost combo. He then chains 2 more mini turbos together before adjusting his line and grabbing the next stomp jump boost. Once that's over, he gets 1 more quick mini turbo and drifts onto the tambourine for a mini turbo and jump boost. To close out the lap, he uses his second mushroom to cut out the grass and get the super mini turbo before crossing the finish line. Funnily enough, using 2 mushrooms on 1 lap didn't help Ren close the gap at all. In fact, Alberto increased his lead by 3 more tenths thanks to his faster lines and max mini turbos. He sits ahead by over 2.4 seconds after outsplitting Ren by 1.3 seconds on lap 2. Things get a tad different here on lap 3, but it's nothing we haven't already seen. Through S1, Ren rides on a strict line and only grabs the ultra mini turbo around the keys and then the normal one near the end of the section after the piranhas. Alberto chains 2 mini turbos before he even thinks about the keys and then proceeds to chain 2 ultra mini turbos together. After the plants, he grabs another mini turbo and hops over to the ramp for another jump boost to close out the section, now ahead by just a hair under 3 seconds. Through S2, Ren sneaks together 2 super mini turbos around the xylos and bounces off the tambourine for another jump boost and follows that up with another super mini turbo before going into S3. Alberto chains his super mini turbos, but with another jump boost on the first xylo. He grabs the normal mini turbo before bouncing off the tambourine and grabs both a super and normal mini turbo before going into S3, now ahead by over 3.2 seconds. To close out the lap, Ren hits the trick off the ramp and rides straight to this grass patch where he'll use his mushroom early and get the jump boost to clear it before getting another note stomp jump boost. Around the final turn, he drifts onto the tambourine for 1 more jump boost and gets a normal mini turbo before coming across the finish line. Alberto gets his mini turbo jump boost combo and another jump boost right as he lands, after which he'll get another mini turbo and jump boost as he makes his way down this back stretch. He does that thing where he sneaks in another jump boost right as he falls off the blacktop. To close it out, he'll drift off the tambourine for another jump boost and use his final mushroom to get across that finish line. After all of that, he'd end up posting a time that was 3.8 seconds faster than Ren's former world record. So by grabbing an unheard of number of max mini turbos, racing on better lines, and exploiting every possible time save you could imagine, Alberto was finally able to dip under 151 and become the first person to do so. His best time before this record was nearly a quarter of a second slower, so to drop that much time is pretty astonishing. I wish I could speak with him about it, but we couldn't make it happen this time around, so let's just jump ahead. The best known splits for this run show that Alberto was 110% committed to lowering this mark. He owns all 3 of those splits, and they are no faster than a few frames from his world record splits. His world record lap 1 is right around the best known split, his lap 2 is a few frames back, and his third lap is the best known split. Seeing the best known sometime beat .899 is pretty satisfying, and it would be even more satisfying if that were the world record one day. Maybe Alberto will come back to get it, or perhaps there is another one destined to go .8. The worldwide top 10 consists of 6 national and 4 continental record holders. At the top is Alberto with the only 150 in the world, a few tenths behind him is French record holder Army, and down there in 3rd place is Japanese record holder Frog. In 4th, rounding out the 151s, is Kai. 5th and 6th place share a 10th in separation and consist of Ronnie and American record holder Vincent. In 7th through 9th place, we have Marimo, Zaru, and Alpaco, all separated by less than a tenth of a second. And rounding out the top 10 is Australian record holder Panda. Disregard what I just said about some dude being destined to go .8 because we all know it's going to be Alberto. With nearly 4 tenths on the next fastest time, there won't be anyone else in the world that can take Alberto's top spot away from him or bring the record down further. That's the end of episode 66. I hope you found this analysis interesting. If you enjoyed this video, like and share it with your friends and comment on which course you'd like me to analyze next. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.